Howdy and hello, I'm Doe. Hope we're doing good. Today we have the Modifier Magifier 3.0, showcasing the build against bosses and then talking about the build variations and options later, which there are a decent bit of options. Kind of. So if you don't like certain modifiers I'm using right now, you ain't got to use them. You don't like Summoner, you ain't got to use it. You can change it a little bit. And I will mention real quick, there are certain bosses and beings that don't get affected by modifiers as easy. For instance, a giant tree in water just freaking laughs at fire. It's like, huh. I don't see it getting hot in here, brother. And then a freaking squid, or not squid, a jellyfish that shoots electric attacks can be electrified. Ghosts can't be bleeding, but you can bleed Nightweaver. So all I'm saying is it's kind of wacky, but the build itself is fun. I like dot damage a lot. So hope you enjoy this, and I'll catch y'all later. Thanks for watching. Peace. Don't die. Oh my goodness. My test dummy's gone. It had good modifiers, dude. Oddly enough, the build is pretty good for ad clearing. What even... Why is that a thing that can happen? So normally the builds I make are pretty much entirely just boss killing builds, but in this case, this is actually not the worst. That hit so hard. Get away from me, please. Okay, I mean, this is the walk-in wood that can't be affected by fire anymore. They call it Kealu Reeves. And for some reason, it used to get affected by Firestorm, but now it just says, nope, that's hot. I don't like hot. I'm more of a cold vacationer, if you will. And I do want to mention that your axes can be eaten by the orbs, if you didn't know. So be careful with that. But damage is still pretty decent. Gotta run back to use this. It worked. W. Yeah, when your Bloadraw doesn't land, it feels terrible. When it does land, it feels pretty good just laying. It didn't work. L. Okay, Firestorm. No, die. Die, 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 die. No, don't die. Don't die again. I just got here. Don't die. No, 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 no. No! Two things here. This boss is where the build truly shines, because I'm not sure to kill it fast with anything else aside from elemental stuff. But in this case, it kind of mows it really easily. Also, if you guys didn't know, Remnant 2 is doing a sort of challenge. Gotta kill the one true king, make a YouTube video on it, post it, and you can win some cool shirts and whatnot, which the shirt looks sick. This is not sponsored. Didn't ask me to make this video or mention that. I saw it and it looked kind of neat. So I might do it myself. I'm just not sure exactly how quite yet. How come... Oh, wait. This game is funny. How come it's weak to shock? But the tree in water isn't weak to fire? You know? Shouldn't ask those kind of questions. My bad. Is that mine or theirs? It died. The one thing I regret is not maintaining my Krillax dots enough, because the damage output is ridiculous. For just throwing your weapon, you're getting 900 to freaking 1100 DPS. To explain the build, I first want to detail the goal of the build, which is to apply a bunch of dots and have them do big damage. To accomplish that, I'm using Archon as my prime archetype. Why? For the mod generation when you pop a modifier, and also in general, the mod damage. For your second archetype, you can change it to a few things. Medic, Alchemist are kind of the same thing, but the skills differ. You get 25% damage and 5% crit chance. That's the main pickup here. Now your other option is Summoner, which does more damage to your modifiers out the gate, but does not increase the damage of your bleed, of your blood draw, your tainted blade on your melee weapon, and or your Kralax's dot from the overload. I will mention the flyers, if you use that skill on the summoner, will get in the way of your blood draw, your Kralax, and in general, a lot of stuff. Well, like that minion's over here chilling, mind his own business. This one had to go right in front of me for no reason. For my Amulet, I'm using Sinister Totem. This is because of the extra 50% status damage, which is not a huge deal when you're facing regular mobs, but really good against bosses. So if you're just doing some trash pulls or whatever, you could swap to just a regular raw damage amulet or a mod damage amulet like Jester's Bell. So options are definitely there. But when you want when you want more status damage, I suggest Sinister Totem as the #1 pick. Then we got Shadow of Misery for a 50% extra dot damage or stat effect damage. Stone of Malevolence. This is still necessary. You are generating mod power so fast when you have an elemental status on a boss. I think a single melee throw, I get back blood draw like that. Like just, that's it. Zen Band of Fanatic. That is also necessary at the moment. You get 25% extra dot damage or stat effect damage, how you want to view it. And on top of that, it's like an extra 70% or something damage. Because for some reason, the longer dots last, the less damage they do. The less time dots last, the more damage they do. So this making dots last a lot less time is making them hit a lot harder. Which is also why we're not using Ritualist, sadly, because currently it's bugged. If I equip Affliction, I will do less damage. It's like freaking 4 times less damage. It goes from around 220 damage to 60 damage a dot tick. I'm not using Affliction, which is a bummer. I want to use Ritualist, but the downside here as well is I think once it gets fixed, they'll probably nerf the way it works and make this a lot less enticing. So use the build right now to have fun. Now for my secondary weapon, I got the SMG. What you use doesn't matter that much because I'm just spamming modifiers all the time. Firestorm and Harmonizer. You can swap out Firestorm for something else. I'll mention that in a moment. Then I got Krell Edge or Kralax with the overload on the charge weapon throw, as well as Tainted Blade, which applies corrosion when you charge and throw your weapon in this case. So I applied two statuses in a single throw of my melee weapon. And my primary weapon, I got Black Maw AR with Blood Draw and Failsafe. So Failsafe is an extra 20% damage. The other thing I don't care about, I just want the damage. And Harmonizer is kind of the same thing, but generating extra mod power when weapons are stowed is a nice addition. For my Relic, it does not matter what you use. I'm not popping Relic, there's no need. So if you want to go a bit more survivability, do that. I got Ruined Heart though with elemental damage, mod damage, and in my case, I like the mod and skill casting speed. You can change that to whatever you want. I just don't want to be animation locked for as long when using Blood Draw. Speaking of which, if you don't like Blood Draw, which it can be finicky and a bit annoying, I do like the damage though. You can swap it to a few things. You can swap it for Voltaic Rondure. And if you're already using Firestorm on your secondary weapon, you can go ahead and use Creeping Mist. 4.2 thousand DPS. Which is very easy to maintain, might I add. And if we ever get future modifiers that give you elemental damage, those could be used too. But by the time that ever happens, this will probably get nerfed to the ground. Now, for your armor, it's your choice. I just want to be a freaking witch doctor or witch thing, so I'm going with Zealot. Want to be tankier, you can be tankier. I saw certain cows build using Firestorm, and I wanted to make it a little bit more DPS oriented. Not by much, but you change one ring. Use Band of Fanatic, and this gives you a lot more damage for your Firestorm that you'll be spamming, and it's going to be your main source of damage. I also am using Gas Giant as well as Steadfast, so I can swing while being hit most of the time if it's a charge attack, and Creeping Mist for even more stat effect damage, as well as Spirit Healer because why not. Be warned, kill times are a year and a day to the 4th power. You can use the old Mob Mage build as well. It's still really good, and the slight variation to it would be we're now using Burden of the Silist, Band of the Fanatic, ahanae crystal. Your amulet could change, but the casting speed is pretty nice. It's way more effort for less damage. Like, it climbs decent. If you want to see a bunch of numbers, this is a pretty chill build. Now, sadly, I can't showcase the full damage of Blooddraw and Firestorm since Blooddraw isn't doing the actual impact damage on the dummies. It hits them, applies bleed, and that's it. You're missing like 1.5k non-crit or 3k crit damage right there. At the moment, do not use affliction. You'll do less damage. So don't be like, no, I copied your entire build, but I'm hitting for like 4 times less damage. Either got nerfed or affliction is at +10 for you, and that's why. But the talent turrets I'm focusing are Flashcaster, Swiftness, Kinship, Strongback, Fortify, Vigor, Spirit, Footwork, Arcane Strike, and Sapphire. Alright, I'm pretty sure this boss is immune to stats effects. Oh. I lied. Oh my god. Destroy bound belief. Okay, he's shooting. Kobe. Should have wait behind here. So there's a bug that made this boss immune to all statuses, but I think it's gone now, thank the Lord. I couldn't see. I'm dead. Kill it first, kill it first, kill it first. I think I killed her. Does that count? Get rolled. Get me out. Get me out. Okay, on this boss, I would not run this build. This is a nightmare. Get me out. Kobe. I got something that wasn't her. That missing is nuts to me. Goodbye. Alright, and in closed rooms like that, do not use this build. Don't use Firestorm, and probably don't use Blooddraw. He would have elemental resist, dude. It is just so on brand for Remnant 2. Love that. Can my thing hit like once? It hit once. I think he dies to that. Nope. Wait, he does. Huh. Element to resist, bro. Element to resist. So much fun. I love that. I love my build doing less damage, bro. I love that for me, man. Love that so much. Can't wait to run through that again. Take like at least if I fight the mobs, it takes like 20 minutes. If I run past everything, I can get back here in like 7 minutes. But the point is, that's a waste of my time. Goodbye. The ghost can't bleed? What? Robots can't bleed? These ones can. But see, like, that's the thing. Like, when you try and chase realism, you're going to have so many pitfalls in a game like this. Because in the first place, it's not realistic at all.